technical issues. That's okay. We'll wait a few moments. You ask folks to sign in when you come. We like to really get a sense for folks that are here. And we realize people are here for different parts of the meeting. We don't expect everybody to stay, but you're certainly welcome to do that. But it's nice to know, who's coming to our meeting.
Hello and welcome to the East Lampeter Township Public Meeting. All participants are now informed that this meeting is being recorded. This meeting is also being offered virtually utilizing Zoom, which is a cloud-based platform for remote video and audio conferencing. The Zoom application is free to the public. The general public is therefore able to join the meeting by connection through the internet or by calling in by phone. The public is also able to observe the meeting on the Township's YouTube channel. Please continue to check the Township website calendar for any updates related to these public meetings. Agendas for these public meetings will also be available on the Township's website. Please be reminded that this meeting is being video and audio recorded and will be posted to the Township's YouTube channel for viewing. The meeting will now proceed with the chairman calling the meeting to order and identifying all other members present in the meeting room and those joining the meeting via Zoom. The chairman will then confirm those members joining by Zoom can be heard.
All right, welcome everyone. I'd like to call to order the June 30th meeting of the Board of Supervisors for East Lampeter Township. All of our supervisors are in attendance, as well as our staff here present today. I would note we did have an executive session prior to the meeting for personnel matters, and we do appreciate everybody adjusting. This is a special rescheduled meeting, and we appreciate everybody's cooperation on that. So if you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty. Thank you. Just making a note, we had a very special flag ceremony at Flory Park last night. So, just pledging the flag. We had Boy Scout Troop 146 there and our fire departments, and it was very nice session. Kudos to staff for putting that together for us. All right, this is the first time in our meeting for public comment on non-agenda items only. Is there anyone in the public that would like to? Yes, if you'd rise and just state your name for us, that's all. It does pick up better if you do come to the podium. Our microphones for those that are online. Thank you.
Willow Road in my I want to just bring to attention a couple things tonight, just because I was kind of aware in our family, our business, but just that you all guys hear where we stand. So number one is the traffic on Willow Road. We live on Willow Road and it's just becoming worse and worse. And so for the safety of our family and the farmers on Willow Road, I want to draw to your attention. And more or less just to kind of find out if you guys are aware of the issue. I'm assuming you're probably in traffic studies. I would hope you are, to find out what's going on in the area. I did pull some of the traffic studies regarding the accidents on Willow Road and Greenfield Road, which of course is adjacent to our property, and the increasing numbers of accidents there. I'm hoping you guys are aware of. In particular, also Benjamin Franklin Boulevard, when our property was the bridge being replaced there, the culvert being replaced there, we had to use Benjamin Franklin Boulevard to get down. And of course, just a safety aspect, personally for myself, having to use Benjamin Franklin Boulevard for the first time, realizing how much of you cannot see coming up Willow Road. When you're coming up Willow Road toward Benjamin Franklin Boulevard, how there's a blind spot there, and the concern of that for the accidents of Willow Road.
Sorry, you mean where Ben Franklin intersects?
Yeah. If you were forced to go Benjamin Franklin Boulevard on Willow Road to get to our property, that's we really became aware of the safety concern there. And of course, we're already aware of the safety concern of leaving the property, going up to Willow Road to Greenfield Road, and being left there for this burden for a lot of people, including a lot of them to the resort, getting accidents. So that's one issue I wanted to just bring to your attention again. I'm going to presume you guys are aware of it. and hoping you're addressing the issue there for our safety. Also further down general traffic on Willow Road, too, for the farmers on the Willow Road, speaking for them as well as ourselves, you know, trying to take a tractor up Willow Road and get a load of hay or your local neighbor, it's extremely disturbing. I know that they have signs on Benjamin Boulevard to make sure that no tractor trailers enter Willow Road. It does not work. They're on there all of the time. So again, I'm not sure what setting you guys are doing of that, but they're not adhering to that policy or that rule. The number of times I come down on Willow Road to the farm and I feel a sense of like just extreme stress over not coming behind me. And again, pulling a load of wagon, it's not a safe place to be. My second item has to do with the noise from the drill works and the David spots. Again, I'm going to presume you guys are aware of the noise that's been coming from that manufacturing. We have notified the East Lampeter Township Police. I'm hoping they file a report to notify again of the concerns we have there. Objective measurements of that noise. We've been having decibel readings on that noise, and we have regular measurements, documented measurements of between 60 to 70 decibels coming from that manufacturing. That's from my front door, not even from the property line. So it's very disturbing. I'd like to have that addressed and make sure you guys are aware of it. And the third item for ourselves and again our community is the lighting of the Ascent Apartments on Greenfield Road. It's like it's a UFO that landed on Willow Road. It's really the light pollution is ridiculous.
Just to make sure we heard you correctly, for Greenfield North?
Greenfield North. And I know Heise is observing their community, but I ask you because observe ours.
I see. For the lights, is it the lights on the property, on the building, or?
On the top of the building, yeah.
The new apartment, the Ascent, yeah.
Those are my concerns.
Thank you. Anyone else on public comment at this time? Staff, anything to add?
Ms. Kreider has made us aware of the noise complaint, and an officer was out to her property. We have informed High of the noise complaint as well as the property owner of where Kettle and Fire is located. They do have a noise consultant coming in to do readings and to figure out an abatement to the situation.
I have a question though. So under the obviously ordinance of the business park, it I know clearly states the exterior manufacturing must be in an enclosed building. Are they planning on enclosing that in? Because then again, I'm just curious to how they're going to mitigate that noise. If it's not enclosed, how did that get passed on the ordinance when it's clear in there? And then the other ordinance under business park zoning, if I'm not reading this correctly, please tell me. What I'm reading there is it says clearly no noise under business park zoning. And I'm not sure how that's even getting passed.
So there were changes to that site after construction because of the grease and fats that were flowing into the sewer system. And those changes came back to mitigate that, which has now caused the noise situation.
So the noise on our side of the one that faces the Ascent Apartments, that side of the building of Kettleworks, that was put in March. We have a document. We know exactly when it started. We heard it. So March from now to end of June, we've been dealing with this. And the other side, I know John Crater here's somewhere. You deal with that side of the noise on that side of the building, which they don't hear our side. We hear it basically Dean Pipers and I hear that side. And so that side I know we're dealing with the issues of the sewage issue. But are you telling me that our side, the cooling towers, which they got by, somehow saying it's not manufacturing, somehow manufacturing, it's cooling your brain?
So it's actually cooling the building and the broth to at the same time.
So that's how it got past the manufacturing.
Because it gets so hot in there from boilers.
And is that going to be an enclosed building then?
That I can't answer yet.
And is there a time frame to this?
I know that the noise consultant will be here in mid-July.
Mid-July.
Yes.
Because it is affecting my business and it's not fun at all. Let alone the fact you can't sleep at night, can't open windows, it's that loud.
So I believe you're talking about the north side of the building,
Yeah, that'd be.
right? Is that, okay, so we know. Okay, any other comments?
I have one question, if I can keep going here. What is the plan for the accidents there on Willow Road and Greenfield Road? Is there any type of plan at all to mitigate that?
At this moment, there is not. I know that you recently requested that data to be provided.
Well, what we do have now, we just added this a few meetings ago, is an ongoing piece of the agenda that's just for safety items. And we've been talking about, another traffic issue. The number one concern we always hear is speed, various roads. Sometimes changes in those roads could be the cause of it, or it's just a continuing problem, or it is development. So that will be added to that. You've outlined the kind of questions we would want from our police department. Well, they may have to. Board?
I had a question.
Sure.
John Crider, I'm a commercial owner of there in Greensville.
You look too young to be there last night for that 35-year deal.
Have a good night. John Crider, I own the commercial building there at Greenfield and Willow. And I agree with Cassie, the amount of accidents happen there too. And I'm wondering, should we be reporting to you guys or to the police when there's accidents there that they are not called out to? I'm thinking about that. We had one there at Greenfield. Sorry, near Greenfield. Ben Franklin Boulevard, like 3 Sundays ago. I went down and 2 cars in the field. They could drive away. Unfortunately, it was far away. Or did, but we didn't report it. Or car in the field. But I'm thinking that probably reported to you guys. So there's no section. A lot of accidents like Greenfield and Willow also.
If we don't know about it, then we can't add that to the list.
Call the police or you guys?
If it's not an accident that needs to be called into the police, you can inform us or the police.
Thinking about that later too. It's quite that happens.
Without danger to anybody, health problems, we don't want to have people calling 911 if they don't really need to call.
Right.
We have a dispatch number for the police department for
Right.
other reports, but I agree, we're not going to know about it unless we have some report of it.
Right.
Yeah, and there could be some other damage that isn't known, that should be known from whoever that property owner is.
Yeah. That's what I'll have to do.
Thank you.
Let you guys know.
Any other for public comment? And there will be another section later for public comment for non-agenda items. Okay, we'll move on to item 4, the consent agenda. We have approvals of meeting agendas, our June meetings, and we have time extensions, financial security reductions, and approval to pay invoices on that consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Gallagher and second by Robert.
I didn't.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. All right, next up, we have a swearing in of our officer chief.
Allowing me to have a few minutes here. I'd like to introduce to you Miss Isla Meyer. Isla was born and raised in Chester County. She's a graduate of the PA Homeschoolers Association in 18. She's also a graduate of Westchester University with a master's degree in criminal justice. He has previously served as a special law enforcement officer with Avalon Police Department in New Jersey. as well as being employed as a private investigator in Chester County. Ms. Meyer has completed our background process, and she's prepared to start the Reading Police Academy in July. It is my recommendation that at this time, she be formally sworn in with the East Lampeter Township Police Department.
You have your copy, right? It's good. It's a little long. So I will repeat, I'll say what you need to repeat, and you'll just add your name. So I,
I, Isla Meyer,
being a newly appointed police officer of East Lampeter Township in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania,
being a duly appointed police officer of East Lampeter Township in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania,
do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the ordinances of East Lampeter Township.
do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the ordinances of East Lampeter Township.
That I will serve the citizens honestly and faithfully by discharging the duties of my office with honor and fidelity.
Serve the citizens honestly and faithfully by discharging the duties of my office with honor and fidelity.
My duties as a police officer in accordance with the law, and I will obey orders and conduct myself at all times in accordance with the rules and regulations set forth by the department.
I will perform all of my duties as a police officer in accordance with the law, and I will obey orders and conduct myself at all times in accordance with the rules and regulations set forth by the department.
I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately without any consideration of class, color, creed, condition, race, sex, age, sexual orientation, national origin, or ancestry, handicap, or disability, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities.
I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately without any consideration of class, color, creed, condition, race, sex, age, sexual orientation, national origin or ancestry, handicap or disability, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities.
Welcome to our report.
Thank you.
Okay. The item here on our agenda, our next item is another recognition here. Chief, take us away.
Okay. If I can have both Officer Nicholas Zoller come up and Mr. Matthew Brandt come up as well. It's not too often that we get to make a life-saving recognition. And so it's just a proud moment to be able to make this presentation. We're just going to briefly read to you here what the award states. On Tuesday, June the 2nd at 2:56 in the afternoon, Officer Zollner responded to a Class 1 cardiac arrest at the intersection of Strasburg Pike and Lincoln Highway East. On arrival, Officer Zollner observed an unconscious male whom he later identified as 46-year-old Matthew Scott Brandt lying in the roadway next to his work truck. Officer Zollner observed Mr. Brandt was not breathing aside from occasional agonal breaths. Officer Zollner quickly applied the pads from his AED to Mr. Brandt's chest, who was immediately assessed by the AED and delivered a shock. Arriving EMS personnel were able to take over continued life-saving measures until such time that Mr. Brandt could be transported to the hospital. Mr. Brandt survived the heart attack, and after several days in the hospital, he was able to return home to the care of his family. The East Lampeter Township Police Department wishes to recognize Officer Nicholas Zollner for his life-saving actions he provided to Mr. Brandt on June 2nd, 2026. Thank you, Officer Zollner. What it is, I just want to make sure, is there a current Renshaw in the audience at all? Kurt Renshaw. Mr. Renshaw was the passenger in Mr. Brandt's truck as they were driving north on Stratford Pike. And when the truck started to leave its lane of travel, Mr. Renshaw recognized the fact that Mr. Brandt had become unconscious and was able to take over the steering from the passenger side, bring the truck to a stop before they entered the intersection of Stratford Pike and Lincoln Highway, which obviously could have resulted in more injuries and other accidents. But I wanted to recognize Mr. Renshaw's actions as well here this evening, but since he's not here, at least I can mention his name. So the Top Gun Award will have to wait.
It's okay. Those are the greatest moments in a position like this to just see those kind of actions by our police department and our citizens, just incredible. So we salute Officer Zollner and Mr. Renshaw. We will make sure we give him that recognition in person for sure. Thank you. All right, we're on to item 8 of our agenda is old business. There is no old business, so moving on to new business. We have number 2026-04 Omar and Annie Land Development Plan at 2008 Horseshoe Road. Is there anyone here for that item?
I'm Chris Monahan with Mac Engineering, representing the applicant for 2008 Horseshoe Road. I'll just go over a highlight of the project. It's a single-family home land development plan on commercial lot, just over the railroad tracks here. It's a flag lot, about 68 acres. In the ag zone, with airport openings, and it's so water sewer. We have a handful of waivers that we improve the commission, and they had recommended approval. So the referrals that we have to work through in terms of the improvements to the lot. We have copies of the waiver. Okay. But
That'd be fine. That'd be fine.
so the first one is submit the plan and approve the plan as a final one. Don't plan. Waive the preliminary plan process. Second one is to use smaller diameter pipes that's listed in the ordinance. The ordinance lists 15-inch diameter minimum, and just do the grading out there. How low the slump water bases are. We provided calculations to DMA, and they recommend approval on that one to use smaller pipe diameter. The third one is scale of the plan. There's a sheet or two since the lot is larger. Yeah. So allowing the plan to have a larger scale, but we still have entities that do meet the ordinance. We recommend approval of that one. And then the last two ones, and just has to do with the improvements towards Horseshoe Road. If you remember the Lancaster Parks project, this is the same lot. It was the deferral requirements, I believe, were approved or recommended for approval then. That plan has since been withdrawn, and this plan is replacing it. Mr. Smucker just wants to build his home, and then he'll return back to that land development process for the commercial to see that move toward the front of the lot towards the existing commercial use. Yeah, it's just, we'll have to go through a deferral agreement on that, if you agree to it. And, that's it for the waivers. There's just 5 waivers we're requesting. In terms of the letter, we went through 2 rounds so far with DMA. The last review letter we have is from May 18th. We're working through that. We're also working through, it's a very short letter, I should say. They have no problem meeting any of the requirements in the letter. And we're just working through DEP for the NPDS permit. This site will include larger than 1 acre of earth disturbance, so we'll have a full NPDS permit. Right now, that's sitting with the conservation district, and it's already went through 1 round of admin. Yeah, sufficient. And then we're still waiting on DEP for the sewer plan. So if that's going to be waived or if the site will require planning or not, so we'll have an answer back on that from them.
We've addressed everything in the deed letter.
We will.
About the zoning, how about the zoning question?
Zoning, the livestock house, that was just a mistake on the plan. That carried over from the commercial land plan, so that's been since removed. I actually just had the plans in the office today, so I have yet to review them. We'll submit it back to DMA for another letter. Something else proposed this plan. It's a single family home.
Any questions from the board? Staff, anything to add?
I don't think that's my hand covered.
No?
Well, I will point out that there is not yet a letter from Lancaster County Planning Commission. I'm sorry, I did forget that.
I forgot.
That hasn't been received yet, and so any conditional approval should be contingent upon receipt of that letter and then the applicant addressing any and all comments from the Lancaster County Planning Commission.
Report?
I'll make a motion to grant conditional approval for 2026-04 Omar and Annie Smucker Land Development Plan at 2008 Horseshoe Road. Contingent upon the letter from the Lancaster County Planning Commission and the DMA modifications and waivers. Dated May 18th, 2026.
Looks like Mr. Gallagher said, and it's combined, right? Any further discussion? Any other discussion? Points. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, next up, this is under the business 9B. This is development plan 2026-11, the professional real estate holding LLC land development plan at 1724 Lincoln Highway East. Yes, sir.
Good everyone.
Say your name for them.
My name is Greg Schwartz. I'm here from Stackback Engineering to represent the land development plans for 1724 Lincoln Highway East. Professional land holding. For many years, the building at this address was a vacuum repair and sales facility that was vacated approximately 12 years ago. Since then, the building surrounding property has slowly deteriorated, as evidenced by the graffiti on the landscaping. Mr. Bergstrom would like to revitalize the vacant property for use of distribution facility. The improvements to the property, future potential active use will prove to be a benefit for the township and all surrounding property. It's not a typical land development plan. Mr. Bergstrom would simply like to build a new living home for his tenant, which triggered the need for a land development plan and stormwater management. He will remove this area from the stormwater, therefore eliminating the need for additional stormwater and control. Since the plan to add a small one got classified lighting, we will also need to reconstruct the trying to feature subject permit some folks and access from certain requirements he can expect. He's aware and willing to do so. township requires. However, Mr. Bergstrom recently obtained cost estimates for the frontage improvements, which are prohibitive, and would like to request the deferral of construction of those features for 2010 months. There's simply not enough cash flow from the property to afford the expense of frontage improvements at this time, and you may need to forego the site for the job, but the defendant requested an email from the resident. If given the time to fund the project over the next 24 months, he's going to proceed with construction of the frontage improvements as shown on the plan. We submitted the final land development plan on April 15th, and received the most recent review on today. Based on comments of the issue, Mr. Bergstrom and I are confident in this. Requesting one waiver for preliminary, the development of preliminary.
Yes, put that request.
No, that's just something that came up yesterday, cost estimate for receipt.
Again, they were the cost estimates for the frontage improvements. They were the cost estimates for the frontage
Yes.
improvements.
If the board conditionally approves the plan this evening, that will need to be considered. First thing tomorrow.
Here, from me, June 9th, form from BMA, but I don't see what they're asking written anywhere, or am I missing something?
Being verbally requested.
Okay, all right. But it's not addressed in the DMA letter at all.
That's correct.
Okay, thanks.
I need to speak with Haynes, the township engineer, about it today.
So we're on the, help me, as we look at this good presentation, what is it you're physically requesting to postpone?
Perfect, and some documents, right?
Okay,
Full height curve,
gotcha.
but it's just these features out along the road.
Just those. Okay. Thanks.
And just to confirm, you're asking for a 24-month time period?
Yes.
For the final improvements.
So in theory, it would be done conditionally, but it will be completed starting 24 months from the approval?
In other words, it doesn't have to be done, but it has to be started.
So that'll actually depend on the final language in the deferral.
Put it right.
Yes. But if you want to, I'm sorry, if you want to stipulate that in the conditional approval, you can do that.
You need it to be 24 months after the building construction is completed, so cash flow starts, or?
That would be ideal, but, you know, tonight's meeting or whatever, you know, we got, building permits for the phase A of the, the main building renovations. So we're actively in the process of renovating that. The loading dock's like a 400 square foot addition, which would be phase B. That's kind of what's triggering this whole thing. So we're in the process of renovating the building. You know, in the next month or two, we'll be wrapping that up and be completing it. So either now or in the next couple months, I'm happy either way.
I thank you for fixing up that building first.
Yeah.
It's definitely an eyesore, so
Yeah.
I'll love to see that happen in the township.
And so I would move approval of the number 26, 103, 13, and 1724 Lincoln Highway East, subject to final review by DMA and the Lancaster County Planning Association, with the intent that they would implement this additional waiver within 24 months of finishing the construction.
The deferral.
Yeah, deferral. Yep.
We're asking that deferral, to clarify that deferral be for the frontage improvements in a span of 24 months, be put in writing and delivered to the township.
Yes.
Tara,
Yes,
and what kind of time frame is
tomorrow.
tomorrow? Would that be acceptable?
Yes, that was the intent.
Second that.
Motion by Mr. Hayward, second by Mr. Gallagher. Any further discussion on that? Anything else from public? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And motion carries. Again, we are appreciative of taking up that space and really not only really remodeling the whole thing, but a productive business.
Making you smile, but that affection of the room.
Thank you.
Okay.
Without knowing.
Yeah, got it.
Item 9C is Plan 2026-12, Andrew and Audrey McClune. It's a lot add-on plan at 101-117 Whitmer Road.
Sure. That's not with Weber Surveys, representing, into the food, lot out on farm. So you got 117 Weber Road and, one, and then an undeveloped lot. I'm addressing, Weber Road. 117, is looking to add 1 acre of ground on in the back. To get the food access. We currently Andrew's residence, and he wants to preserve that ground acreage for the stuff, preservation there. So the intent is to have that property all add on from 101 to the Woodland Road line because of like a 5,000 square foot add on just to move natural trees, shrubs there. And that's the whole purpose of the plan, to change the province around. 117 Woodland Road would be 4.8, 101, I think, if we for 5.3. Back address everything. One modification that we are requesting now is for the roadway improvement. We requested a deferral of the roadway improvement for curbing and sidewalk. There is currently sidewalk there, but it doesn't meet the current requirement. With grass strip between the sidewalk and the curb, it's not right up against the curb for most of the property. We prepared that deferral, and we have it back into the township and to the DMA. That would be the biggest change. We're increasing, providing proposed right of way to meet our 30-foot right of way on our side. And we have those exhibits in there. We can address all the other comments, and we have their comments. Any other questions?
Staff, any feedback?
I have no.
Pleasure of the board.
You're not waiting.
Just a final review.
Final review.
Yeah, I mean, we resubmitted, but at this point, we're not.
I'll make a motion that we approve the lot add-on plan contingent on DNA's on letter of approval. We need to mention deferral.
So consider the LCPC review dated June 8th The David letter dated May 15th. And a deferral agreement that's subject to the if the board wishes.
Mr. Ruddy, you good with modifying it?
Yes.
That including those elements?
I'll second that.
But the requested deferral has a time limit.
If this is a typical deferral, it would be at the township's discretion when there's a large project along the roadway or when the applicant chooses to put it in. There are 3 options listed in.
It's always the case when we're looking for efficiencies.
Sure.
The property is ready to move. Obviously, it would make sense for one contractor to come in and do that work. So
Sure.
we did have a initial motion by Mr. Rudd and a second by Mr. Gallagher. We commenced with some discussion. Any other discussion? On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is our supervisor discussion items portion. We begin with tow policy, Baltimore.
Probably discussed by the board is the August 3rd meeting, as there has not been a emergency services. And there is one scheduled for the 16th of July, so that would be the next possible discussion point.
Didn't have a quorum for the last ESC meeting, so, and that's why it was pushed back, but Chief has been working on proposed draft and so forth, right? All right, next item, cost savings to reduce deficit spending. It's the midsummer, so it's already time to start talking budget. Well, we to talk budget, you're always thinking budget, so any reactions there?
I don't have any cost savings at this time.
And our next item is safety issues. As we mentioned, we're adding that. And we will have some other items that we will be following up on that have been presented tonight. Anything on the infield drive that we've been talking about?
So Enfield Drive, all of the materials have come in, and it is expected that the speed humps will be placed in the 2nd week of July. The board did ask for a listing of all of the township roadways, the speed limit of those roadways. And so that list was provided from what is called the T map, because all of your township roadways have a T number associated with them. I believe the intent of this was to see how many other roadways were in the same speed limit classification as Enfield Road, and Enfield Road is 25 miles per hour. You'll see that there's quite a number of roadways that we have.
Thank you for this. When it's posted, that is NP, does that mean 55 miles an hour?
It could.
I'm just wondering what the law identifies, because I think that's the state. Yeah, but that's not realistic in our township.
Situations, that's not real.
Yeah, okay.
Because we have questions on speed, I think, are here too, for latest safety question. Would you just review that really quickly on determining speed limits when we certainly ask for the state for their help, or PennDOT?
So when we determine a speed limit for a roadway, a speed study has to be completed. And is that what you're asking? I want to make sure that I'm answering.
Yes.
So a speed study is completed. That speed study shows the highest volume and it shows the highest miles per hour that persons traveling the roadway are going over a specific amount of time. What we do is we follow the PennDOT regulations, which then state we have to post at the 85th percentile. So if the roadway has majority of the persons that are driving on it going 50 miles an hour, and that's the 85th percentile, that's where we have to post it at. Whether or not it should be posted at 35 or 25, whatever the 85th percentile is, that's what we are required to post it at.
But in this case, with the discussion earlier on Willow Road, it's a combination of both 25 and 40 miles an hour. At least based on this document. If I'm reading this correctly.
Field Road is 25.
No, Willow Road.
I'm sorry, Willow Road.
Willow Road, yeah.
Willow Road does have two different speed.
It's on the first, yeah, just 25 and 40. Yeah.
Yes.
Jared, do you know typically what does the change occur at the time that the sign is posted? So if you're, okay, so if you have to be going 25 past a 25-mile-an-hour zone sign.
Between the signs of 25 and then 40.
Yeah.
You must be going 25 miles per hour.
Gotcha. And if you're coming from a 40-mile-an-hour sign posting, you have to be going and down, you have to go down to 25 by the time you pass that.
Yes.
20, okay.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Any other board discussion items from members of the board? Any categories you'd like to add? If we've got something. Our next on the agenda are action items. First is to appoint Jacob Bowen as the primary building code official for East Peter Township.
So as part of Jacob's hiring, he was required to go through the building code official training, and he did that. That was required within his first year, and so or when a course was available. So he did do that, and then he passed the exam that's required at the state level for that as well. We would then have 3 building code officials. That's David Sinopoli, Alexander Wazalewski, and Jacob Bowen.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Hayward, second by Mr. Rutt. Any discussion? Appreciate that, Jacob finishing that training. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Motion carries. Action items B, request for fire police for the New Holland Borough Fair from September 29 through October 3rd, 2026, from Hand in Hand, Lafayette, Bronx, and Whitmer Fire Companies as they have availability.
That's correct. So we receive a letter generally every year from New Holland Borough requesting such fire police assistance. And typically, Hand in Hand is able to respond with fire police. I don't know who all will be able to respond with fire police, and so they've requested all 4 when available.
And just so folks know, we provide workman's comp for our fire departments. So when they go outside of our area, we have to get approval from the board on that. We have a motion.
Make a motion to approve the request for fire police from New Holland Borough for their fair held from September 29th through October 3rd, 2026.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Rudd, second by Mr. Gallagher. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item C under action items, we're acknowledging a small portion of a farm near Beachdale Road, 431 Beachdale Road. Tara, can you fill us in there?
Right, so this is the Smucker Land Farm at the corner of Church and Beachdale. There is a small piece of 7,000 square feet that is in East Peter Township. The remainder of the farm, which is approximately 42 acres, is in Upper Laycock Township. The owner would like to be part of the ag security area in Upper Laycock Township. And so the Lancaster County Ag Preserve Board has asked you all as the East Peter Township Board to recognize that the farm itself can go into the ag security area within Upper Laycock Township, even though that 7,000 400 square feet is in East Lansing.
Make a motion that, the small amount of square feet on the Shepherd Farm, 231 Eastdale Road, be included with the Upper Lake Township security area.
Motion by Mr. Rudd,
A second.
second by Mr. Lapp. Discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Managers report. Where we are? Did I run over? Sorry.
Appoint Daryl Zimmerman.
Oh, yeah, I did run over one. Yeah, I thought I saw that photo together. Okay, we're on action D. Appoint Daryl Zimmerman to fill the vacant term of John Blowers on the Industrial Commercial Development Authority through January 16, 2031.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Hayward, second by Mr. Lapp. I do appreciate, I know we all do, any citizens that are really willing to get involved in our committees and various task force here at the township, and appreciate Mr. Rudd looking into this, and Mr. Zimmerman's been interested in some other things that he could help us with, so we appreciate him joining us on the ICDA. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, resolution to adopt the Lancaster County 2025 Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Right, so the hazard mitigation plan was a countywide process that East Lampeter Township participated in. As we participated in the process through adoption of the plan, we also have the availability to apply for FEMA or PEMA funds for any of the locations that are within that plan. And some of those locations include simple things like generators for intersections during power outages. We do have some generators in the township, both in the fire departments and here at Public Works, to connect traffic signals, but that we do still have some that do not have that ability. And then it can be as large as floodplain mitigation for a major flooding event. So we want to make sure that we have the opportunity if and when needed. It is 600 pages long. Yes, if you read it.
Chair, I would move the resolution that we have included here for Lancaster County 2025 Hazard Mitigation Plan, and that we therefore, with all the whereases, I won't read them all. Now, therefore, be resolved, Lancaster County 2025 Hazard Mitigation Plan is hereby adopted as the official hazard mitigation plan of East Lampeter Township, and the respective officials and agencies identified in the implementation strategy of the Lancaster County 2025 Hazard Mitigation Plan are hereby directed to implement the recommended activities assigned to them.
Motion by Mr. Hayward to accept that resolution. Second by Mr. Rudd. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. And I guess our next one is it more informative?
You need to actually make a motion.
This is for the agreement for small dollar settlement with PennDOT, which we thought was done, but it's not.
Right, so at your March 2nd meeting, you approved this resolution. You signed the resolution. You signed the agreement that was all sent to PennDOT, and that we thought we were just going to receive the check that was owed to the township. On June 5th, we got notice that their council has changed all the forms, and they will no longer accept what we approved, and therefore we have to reapprove it.
Chair, the only notice is on the upper right where it says 2026. Okay, and that's what they did in May, subsequent to our approving. Is the substance the same?
Similar.
Well done, Tara. I move its approval.
Motion by Mr. Hayward and second by Mr. Lapp for approval of the small dollar settlement with PennDOT. It's not a large amount of money, but since the form was changed, we have to approve again. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Right. Now, Vanity.
Now, so the comprehensive plan is, the draft is available on the township website under planning projects, so I encourage everyone to read it. It is not 600 pages. So this is the direction that the township will move forward in planning, land development, transportation, housing within the township. So that is out there for public approval, or excuse me, public comment. There is a form to fill out on the website with all of your comments. So they'll all be taken into consideration by the planning commission and the board of supervisors. And then the second item is the new hours for the office years being open to the public. And that will be Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that is because we've had a number of staff that have left the township, and we do not have enough staff to man the front desk for a full 5 days of the week. So that will be until further notice.
We're definitely experiencing what many organizations are experiencing with quality, retaining quality administrative help. And we hope that can turn around soon, but like many organizations, especially in government, we're looking at a schedule that can help us in that regard. Thank you for the work on that, staff.
And staff did research what's going on across Lancaster County, so it's not like we're stepping out and doing something very different. We will address some of our needs here.
Any other comments? All right, this is the second opportunity for public comment on non-agenda items only. Anyone?
Mr. Chair, could I ask a question since they're still here?
Yeah.
The noise. And on the north side, I drove by there today, and it's the structure that is slightly in on the north side, large. And they make noise as they're operating, and that's where the concern from your perspective is.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear when I drove by, but I had the windows up because it was hot, but I saw that structure, which was new from when the first building went up, because they just recently added that, I guess.
In March.
Okay. The other thing is the lights on Ascend, the apartments, are they shining in your direction, or are they, I guess, Ms. Tara, the question I have is, does our light ordinance allow directional lighting like that, or should it all be downward facing?
Should be downward facing, so I don't know, there have not been final approvals on the whole building and the development as a whole at this point, so we will bring that up too.
Yeah. Because my understanding is the lights brighten the area below, it shouldn't be focused anywhere other than just down. Okay.
It's that structural soffit almost around the top edge. Is that where the lights that you're talking about are?
Yeah.
Right at the top underneath
You know.
what I would describe as a closet.
Residents, we know the building was going in, we were prepared for lighting.
Yeah.
You know, when they put the, manufacturing section in, they put lights up, and I would say honestly, it was tolerable. We managed to put some shrubs up, trees up, whatever. And remember, we have to water them. I think that's the biggest thing that people have to understand is that the water reflects everything.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have those elevated lights, higher they are, then it literally looks and it's sitting because it's kept out the water. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what we're just struggling as residents, because we know we're impacted probably the most of the noise and the light pollution. But we also have understand too that there's been numerous people I've been up in Creek Hill that are like the lights, the same lights we're thinking about. So we know it's not just our issue too. It's gonna be something that I hope they would address. It doesn't even mesh with the community. It's like, my joke is like, see UFO sitting, where did they come from? You know, it doesn't even mesh with our community at all. That's what I'm asking the town to please look at and help us out there. You know, we are eight generation on our farm, to keep it that way, keep it in family, keep it rural, if you will.
And the zoning for your area is agricultural. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Public comment? Yes, sir.
My wife and I, Scott and Sherry, we live in 2020 Forey Road. We are right in the mix of the group here that the lighting looks like O'Hara Airport. It's really amazing from being in a agricultural environment and all of a sudden we have a new setting. The noise is, I don't believe anybody sitting up at the table in front of us. And by the way, you guys have really handled yourself professionally. My wife and I have been to Juno Beach board meetings where there's police involved to keep the board members at bay. That is the honest to God truth. Guys, very professionals. But noise, considering we country all, and then all of a sudden something of that magnitude gets built next to you, that's one issue. But then, you know, I'm sitting at my living room like, is that a helicopter? Is that an airplane? And it's continuous. You go to bed and it just is, it's not, it's not what the general public should have to put up with for their living style. They should not encroach on our lives that great.
Could you share, because I apologize, and I will come by at different times and listen. But when is the noise? Is it 24 hours a day?
Yeah, it comes and goes, but it's 24 hours. So they have manufacturing that goes like
Yeah,
6 or 7.
it starts up at like Sunday night, you know, and
Yeah.
then it waits a little bit and it goes again.
Here, do we have any ordinances regarding when manufacturing can occur? No. Because in some places I'm used to, you are to make, operate during certain times of the, okay,
It's very unsettling.
yeah.
Which unit is generating the noise?
I would say it would be the bone manufacturing facility on the Brooklyn Road.
Is it a temporary situation out front?
That's another story. How can we do that? How can we, production out front?
They have a water system or something. Yeah.
Voting?
Actually, that is a temporary
That's
for the
temporary.
sewer system, because they had so much fat and grease into the sewer system that they had to jet the lines clear, and they had to clean our sewer pump station almost 3 times. So because the cake buildup of the fats and greases was so substantial, the pumps couldn't run any longer.
So you are feeling the pains of this new manufacturing.
In dealing with the new manufacturer, yes.
Yes.
The one thing I think we can say is they appear to be responding to what we're encountering, and so is High. I could just say, I believe they have been fairly good neighbors to us from parks and recreation and doing things like that. And there are, this is something very different. I can totally appreciate what you're saying. It's something new for us, and I'm glad to hear we had heard that High is going to come in and get professional people to measure that and see what mitigation can be done about it. I heard it myself. There's no question. It's bouncing off the building.
It started in like October last year, November. And you start to wonder what it is, and you question yourself if you're going crazy. And then I said to my wife, do you hear that humming? And it's just constant.
Mhm.
So I don't know. My concern is if the decibel up will meet the peg or it'll fall just a point below and it's an issue. And it's still an issue.
Well, you raised several questions that are valid. Sound by itself, when it dissipates, if it can bounce off a wall, it ping pongs in such a way that it actually accentuates it. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you.
What is the, so when it says noise, noise is very subjective, it's very measurable at the same time. Mine's all measured, I have numbers on my noise. What's the township stance on what is considered now to be noise, like offensive noise?
I do think that but I would have to check because I don't have it.
The noise definition, I'm not, yeah, it's just so subjective, I think, but I'll just, that's, no, they measure, so that's, is what's considered objective, not just subjective.
It would be actual decibel readings, both at the property line and then beyond.
But at this point, we don't have any time of day change.
From everything that individuals here have said and that have called in or written in, it is not a time of day. It can be any time of day.
We have no requirement that is
Manufactured.
at a certain time, you need to keep it low. I mean, I think I'm new, but aren't there requirements as when you can't put off fireworks at a certain time of night?
That's state law, though.
Okay.
That trumps the township.
Gotcha.
Noise ordinance.
But
But
there's state laws that require, yeah, okay.
The manufacturing was the rule there, could have eliminated that altogether, right?
from what you reiterated from the ordinance is that there should be no noise.
That's the bottom line.
So you shouldn't register anything on a dB meter.
Leave the property, there should be zero noise.
That's easy.
Any other comments?
I also say one thing, I know you had quite a meeting late, I know you discussed about the traffic on Willow Road, but it is also a big issue on Quarry Road. It's posted at 35, it's also posted as a no truck road, and we're having huge trucks on that road of all different kinds, whether they be the trucks from Miller Propane or they are the trucks, there are like 3 different tanker trucks now using it. And the speed is unbelievable, and it is a road with Amish and Amish children, Amish buggies, and I just feel that it's a real issue, and it has greatly increased since the down there.
I live along Hobson Road down here, and I can say everything that happens on Willow Road happens on Hobson. And with Amish school right across the road. The bottom line is people ignore speed limit signs. And I'm not disregarding what you're saying about Willow Road. We could have people from every road in the township basically saying the same thing. If it says 40, try and do 40.
So what are they doing for the safety of the farmers on Willow Road then? It is rural zoned. What is being done to preserve the safety there? We have to run tractors, we have to run that stuff on Willow Road. And there's no way around it.
Same here on Hobson Road.
And yet the issue is, as several Amish have talked to me, it makes it unsafe for them to walk the road, which is what they typically do. So again, thank you for, Tara, but I mean, I have a question. There are tanker trucks for milk pickup that are allowed. It's any commercial truck, non-related to farming. And how do you get around?
Signs say on manufactured, is it semi, what's the verbiage? I forget the verbiage on those signs.
On which
On
side?
Benjamin Franklin Boulevard, before you pull out onto Willow Road, you can make right left or straight before you there. There's several signs leading up to that. Talking the semi, huge big old trucks.
Past this point.
But I've seen several times on Willow that there are tanker trucks that are picking the milk, the farm. But that's an exception, or is that?
There's
No, I'm thinking Willow. Understand, Corey.
They do a plow truck right down Far Road, has to turn on the S turns going around, and there's signs that say, no truck.
Is that new? Because I know they were working in Creek Hill and today, which,
It's
okay.
increased amazingly in the last.
There's no.
Do you have a theory where those trucks are going, why they're there?
I know the people use it.
Or they say quite a bit.
They're,
They do it. I think it's just, the energy,
lost driver.
their GPS said go this way.
We do believe in certain parts, I know where I live on the east part there, that's part of it. If they're trying to get around traffic on 30, for instance, and feel that they can get over to 340 and that's gonna make it better. I don't know if you've experienced that, but I think that's happening with GPS systems and people that don't know the area. Yeah, right. Well, all things we have to measure, and then, whatever we feel we can do, that's why we have a safety item and say, safety really has to be at the top.
And the challenge, as Tara shared, that I'm still learning. Once you go to PennDOT and say, do a study, whatever they come back with, we have to accept. So if we've got it posted at a certain rate, this is the law of unintended consequences.
Well, I agree. Speed study, you meant volume of the cars, highest mile per hour. Well, you increase the volume by building a 600 apartment building. So that's another 200 cars going by. Now my volume's increased. No, we're gonna go speed limit anyways. How are you assessing the mile per hour? You're going speed limit anyway. Yeah, so again,
No, but it's still a problem that needs to be addressed.
the traffic study would be not just speed, but safety. I'm assuming they consider safety, right, Tara? Number of accidents.
Not 4 miles per hour.
The traffic study.
Study considers.
And then how we deploy our police to enforce it, other mitigating things we can do. We've done that throughout the township, different speed measuring, the radar measuring, local police don't have radar. We've always been looking at, hey, when will that change? There's always bills that are proposing it, but a lot of people believe that'll make a difference. But
I did have a question on a similar situation with the trucks. All my neighbors are very farm, there's a lot of farmers who are familiar with Rockville. And we get a lot of trucks that come through there getting around 30. And my question, do you guys have a lot of Jake brakes? Because they are wildly loud. Coming down those county roads to slow down on the curves and stop signs.
I don't miss it unless it's points.
Not to add to the problem, it is, I think, more spread out. I think because of where we are in 30, there's a lot of trucks, and it is, I do see teams of 6 wide trying to go down the road, and then the trucks are trying to come around at the same time. And I don't Jake brake, no, I don't think Jake brakes are allowed, but maybe some signage could
I
be.
think that there's areas.
Yeah, there are areas where it's posted that you can't, but still, they're very loud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Anything online? Any feedback? Okay, we do have a conditional use hearing for Devon Creek Keystone Homes coming up here July 8th at 5:30. And our next regular meeting is Monday, July 13th at 7. A motion for adjournment?
So move. Second.
With a motion and a second for adjournment. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.